So you lost your best employee and now you're trying to figure out, how do I move on? There is actually a trick to this. Let's dig in. Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Waters and I am the Sales and Systems Sensei. Hey, good to have everybody back. I actually help martial arts school owners generate 7 figures of revenue with our dojo scaling system and a dojo assistant. In this video, we're gonna dig in. What happens when you lose that best employee? What are the next steps? If you watched the previous video, part 1, and if you haven't, we'll link it up in the description, but I talked about what to do, that moment that happens and they turn in that resignation, and we went through some steps. But for a lot of people, myself included, losing your best employee or someone that was an amazing employee in your mind's eye, it takes an emotional hit and deploys it on you. I mean, you just got tagged really hard. You thought things were going great. You thought this person was gonna be with you long term. So what do you do in that case when that's just not going to be the reality? They turn in the resignation and now you have a huge gap. You have big shoes to fill. Well, the first thing that you need to do is you have to actually forgive. And you have to realize that this event isn't necessarily a bad event or a good event. It just is. It's very much like looking at a coin and seeing that a coin is a coin, but it has 2 sides. There's good, there's bad, but ultimately it's just a coin. And what you have to realize is, yes, this was a relationship that you had, and it was a relationship that you valued a lot. But ultimately, it's not bad or it's good, it is what it is. And if you are in the mindset of you're never a loser, you're only a learner, then you can take what you learned from this experience and deploy into your next team member that you bring on. I love to take it as a learning opportunity. And what you should do is you should take some ownership in this and realize that the second thing you need to focus on are developing better systems. How do you prevent this from happening again in the future? How do you ensure that when you have another team member that you want to stay with you for years to come, that you don't lose them too? Well, you develop better systems, and those better systems, they have to be better from the start. Don't think about creating better systems that are gonna serve you once that team member's been onboarded. No, set the expectations from the beginning. Set the parameters for how this team member can perform, and then you will be surprised, or hopefully, you won't be too shocked or too surprised because you've crafted and you've developed these systems that are gonna serve for onboarding and also all throughout that entire time that the team member is with you. And then finally, the next thing that you need to do is you need to hire better. You've created these new systems and you've created an onboarding experience. You've created parameters so that your best employee stays with you for years to come. But ultimately, if you back it up one step further, you have to do a better job of hiring. There was something about that original employee that you hired that you thought was gonna be with you for years that you went, yes, that's my kind of girl, that's my kind of guy. I want them on board and I want them to be the best employee ever. And then ultimately, they shocked you with a resignation. So was it something about their character? Was it something that you said, or was it a flaw that you didn't see when you first hired them? Whatever it was, you have to analyze what part of this was me and what part of this was them, and try to understand that if you hire this same personality type in the future, you're most likely going to get the same results unless you change you. And in that case, when you can change your outlook on how to hire and what the type of person is that you need to hire, then you will then get better results. A lot of clients that I've had in the past, they hire the people that they know, not the people that they need. And there's a huge difference. Make sure you're hiring the people that you need. If there's actual work to be done, then hire for that. But if you don't have work and you just know someone who needs a job, do not do that. Because ultimately, you're gonna probably need to let them go, Or you're gonna end up in a situation where this person's gonna be resentful when you actually have to start adding on real tasks, not just because they needed a job or they wanted to train for martial arts and you swapped out classes. Like, you actually need to give them a sense of work ethic and a sense of belonging, and you can only do that if you really need them and their services. Hey, listen, if this whole thing about building systems and building services and hiring on team members seems a little bit overwhelming to a certain extent, or maybe you just need some help, message me. DM me about this, and I'd be happy to get on the DM with you and figure out exactly what's going on and how we might be able to help. But you need to go ahead and DM me, because you sitting on this side of the camera and me on the other, it's not doing you any good. So reach out to me as soon as possible so we can help. And thanks guys for watching this video. Until next time, be awesome.